So just a couple days ago, I dropped $100,000 on a NFT, on a virtual piece of land in a world that's not even available yet for us to enter into. So I know this sounds like a really crazy thing to do. In this video, I want to explain my decision making by looking at a few different things. So first of all, I want to talk about why I'm interested in just NFTs in general as an investment class, why I have decided to move my focus onto NFTs. I've made most of my money in the stock market so far, so it's a little bit of a change for me to be moving to NFTs. Then I want to talk about how I got to a point where I could even put $100,000 into an NFT. And then finally, I want to talk about this specific NFT that I bought, what project it's for, why I made this decision, some of the research that I have done, and what's given me confidence to make this crazy big investment. All right, so starting off, why NFTs? Why do I want to put my money into these non-fungible tokens? What even is a non-fungible token, you might be asking yourself. So if that is your question, you're maybe a little bit behind on this video, but I'll catch you up quick. So pretty much the technology that has enabled Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of these cryptocurrencies that you have been hearing about, it's called blockchain technology. But what's really cool is that currencies aren't the limit of what the blockchain can verify and keep secure. In fact, with Ethereum, you can actually program a single thing onto the Ethereum blockchain where it can be moved around and is verifiably owned as well. And this has allowed for a whole new asset class to emerge, which is an NFT. And essentially an NFT is a non-fungible, which like Bitcoin, they're all fungible because they're all exactly the same. So like one Bitcoin is exactly the same as another Bitcoin. All Bitcoins are fungible with all other Bitcoins, but a non-fungible token is one that's unique. There's not another thing like it. It is individualized, essentially. It is non-fungible, and that allows for a person to own something in a verified way. And I personally think that in the future, in the long run, all homes will be owned as NFTs. That's gonna make it so much easier when there's just one public ledger and you can see who owns any home in the entire world. I think that's something that needs to happen. And a lot of things are just gonna be turned into NFTs because it's a way to easily verify who owns something very securely. And then if you sell it, it's transferred, and then everyone can transparently see that the owner has changed. And then also NFTs can operate through smart contracts, which means that you can make a trustless agreement where the smart contract, you can read through it and it might say, if $100,000 is deposited into the smart contract, then the NFT of this house is released to the payer. And then you know it's gonna happen automatically. So there's no trust involved. You know, if I put in this amount of money, I'm gonna get the NFT. And all of a sudden you remove middlemen from the whole house buying process. It's incredible. But even before that, what NFTs are going to change is the world of gaming, the world of video games. Already, people spend almost $200 billion, yes, $200 billion a year on video games that give you nothing in return except for entertainment. And that is gonna be changing a lot because what the blockchain is enabling is now video game companies are starting to get created that are decentralized autonomous organizations where the players of the game have real ownership in the future roadmap of the game, and where players of the game are rewarded for playing with ownership of the game, which is just like a mind-blowing thing. Like if you play a play to earn crypto game, you actually start as a reward for your participation, getting ownership stake in the company that made that game. And essentially, video games today are just a top down, but instead it will become an economy where the way that the video game producer makes money is with a tax on the economy, but where people playing the game and generating real value for other players are going to be able to sell things that are blockchain items to other players and make real revenue. And all of a sudden, when like an MMORPG like World of Warcraft, just picture it, when that currency is a cryptocurrency, and when all the items in that world are non-fungible tokens with real rarity, real scarcity, and real utility, and even real income generating power, then you start to see how all of a sudden these massive multiplayer online role-playing games actually become real countries with real currencies and real gross domestic product, actual amount of like measurable GDPs that are going to surpass many countries. And yeah, we're going to see these virtual countries that are more valuable than actual countries. And it's going to be a crazy thing. And people don't really realize that this is happening. So I think NFTs in a lot of ways are going to be the next big thing. But unlike the stock market where you have all these institutionalized investors, you have all of this money going into these opportunities. And on the stock market, when an opportunity becomes clear, all the institutional money pours in. And yeah, it's really hard for an individual investor to find incredible opportunities. Now, it's not impossible. The market is still extremely inefficient. And yeah, during the COVID crash, I was buying Tesla for $300 pre-split, and now it is like $650 post-split after a 5-to-1 stock split, which means it's actually in the thousands of dollars without that stock split. So yeah, the stock market definitely can have opportunity, but in general, institutional investors aren't even looking at NFTs yet. They've started to look at crypto, but now NFTs, that's another step of scariness. What is an NFT? So I think there's some opportunities here just because there's not big money pouring in. So me, as someone who has a little bit more of a reach than the average investor, just because I've had some success investing in the stock market already, I think that some of these more expensive NFTs pose incredible opportunities that aren't currently being seized because those with the resources aren't yet aware of the opportunity. And it's all the people that are like you guys that are watching this channel that are seeing these opportunities. And 99% of you, like $100,000 NFT, like that's just, I mean, 99% of the world that is out of reach for. That was out of reach for me 3 years ago. It's crazy what's happened in 3 years. What successful investing can do to your wealth. Now, a couple more things to mention here. One of the reasons why institutions don't buy NFTs is right now, it really ties up your liquidity, but I think that is changing. Because remember, if you own a cryptocurrency, you can borrow against it. You still have a ton of liquidity, but an NFT, it's a less liquid market, and there's not as many opportunities to like borrow against the value of your NFT and that kind of thing. But that whole industry is currently being developed. And as it gets developed, all of a sudden, as NFTs start having more liquidity and owning NFTs, you can borrow against it and invest in other things as well. All of a sudden, NFTs are going to start becoming more attractive, and that's just going to increase the price of all NFTs. The other thing is another side of NFTs that's currently being developed is the ability to kind of divide part of your NFT into shares and then sell out smaller pieces of an NFT so that a lot of people can own an NFT. So like I bought a town that's gonna exist in a future massive multiplayer online role-playing game. And if I want other people to be able to own parts of that town, I could actually, for example, say mint or turn 49% so that I still have majority ownership. I could mint 49% of the NFT, turn it into smaller shares, and then other people could buy up parts of those shares. And then I can even get it so that when shares are traded, I get a long-term commission on the shares of that NFT. So for example, maybe every time a piece of my NFT is sold, I get 6% of the sale fee or something like that, where people can invest in this NFT for far less, fractional shares of an NFT, for example, and then still benefit on the NFT rising in value over time. but then I get to benefit from getting instant liquidity, right? Because I can sell part of my NFT and actually get the value from that. So I get money from that NFT. But then on top of that, I can get passive income from people trading the pieces of my NFT as I get 6% every single time a piece is sold. So this side of the NFT market is getting developed as well. And when all of this comes together, I'm like, man, the NFT market is gonna be doing incredible over the next decade. And obviously we'll go through bull cycles and busts and all of that, and a lot of NFTs will become valueless, but some NFTs that have real utility and real income generating power, man, these NFTs are gonna have so much value in the long term. So yeah, that is why I've been focusing my effort from the stock market to the NFT space. It's just so new, I'm seeing so much opportunity, and there's so much development that's gonna happen that is just gonna increase the value of the entire NFT space. Just really quickly, I want to touch on how I can drop 100K on an NFT. And the story is kind of simple. I all-in on Tesla in 2020 during the COVID crash at $300. I even took out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans. I just borrowed as much money as I could get my hands on. I saw it as the biggest opportunity ever, and it turned out being like just even bigger than I thought it was gonna be, because what had happened is Tesla was 900, it crashed to 300. I'm like, oh my gosh, this crash has nothing to do with the company's fundamentals. We're definitely going back to 900. So I put in everything thinking I was gonna get a 3X. Well, I ended up getting a 10X, well, almost more than a 10X, which is crazy. And yeah, that single investment decision, it made me a millionaire by itself. And then since then, I decided to take just a little bit out of my investment portfolio so that I could invest in crypto, because I saw this opportunity of NFTs and play to earn gaming, and I wanted to start this YouTube channel, On-Chain Gaming. And I'm like, if I'm gonna be talking about this, I have to be investing in it myself, because I'm not gonna talk without walking the walk as well. So I put about, I think, $50,000 into the NFT space. And that started multiplying. You could see a video I'll link right here where at one point I invested like 100K. This is like grown out of the crypto into NFTs for Axie Infinity. I bought 2 Mystic Axies. I sold one of them, the cheaper one that I had bought. The price of Mystic Axies went from 8 ETH, which I bought mine for. The floor price of Mystic Axies now is like 30 ETH. So incredible appreciation there. And then I bought Galacoin 3X'd after I bought it. And now I've bought in the Gala ecosystem this $100,000 NFT. So now let's talk finally about this specific investment. What did I buy? Well, I'll pull out my phone here finally. So here we go. This is my profile here now. You can see if I click here, yeah, On-Chain Gaming. So let me go to my inventory. Oh, I'm already here. Let's go to Mirandus NFTs. So you can see I have 55 NFTs in Mirandus already, which is crazy, but I just bought the most expensive one that I ever have by far. It is this Town of the Duke. And yeah, the Town of the Duke, there's only 10 of these. So I just bought a 1 of 10 NFT. This is guaranteed rarity. There will never be another Town of the Duke. And then the Town of the Duke is a land deed for Mirandus, and the land deeds overall are also limited. It's like just over 1,000 total land deeds, and there will never be more. So this is the first thing that I look for. And by the way, this first thing, don't just make an investment decision solely off of it, but it is an important thing. And this is the guaranteed scarcity. This Town of the Duke that I'm buying for this upcoming massive multiplayer online role-playing game has guaranteed scarcity, and it's super rare scarcity. A 1 of 10 town, that there's not many of these, which means that if anyone ever decides they want to buy one, which as the total population, as the players grow in this ecosystem, more and more people will have the desire to buy one. Because they're so rare, who knows where the price could go? Because remember, price is determined by demand x supply. And when there's almost no supply, demand can drive prices very, very high. So that's the first thing I was looking for, is this guaranteed rarity. I know there's gonna be no inflation of this. It's even way more rare than a Bitcoin is, for example, which means you can see incredible run up in the price of it. But that by itself, like I said, is not a good reason to invest, because anyone could create a one-of-one NFT and just say, hey, this is one of one, super rare. If you own it, you're the only one who owns it. But if no one cares about it, then it doesn't matter that it's rare, right? So the other important things are the utility, like what is this NFT actually going to be able to do? What's the team that's building this game? Very, very important. And in the future, how many people do I think are going to be interested in wanting this NFT? Very important as well. So 3 other very important things. So let's look at a bunch of these screenshots that I grabbed for you about why I'm so bullish on this NFT that I bought for Mirandus, this town of the Duke. So the first thing I want to mention here is that already there are 1.3 million people visiting the Gala Games website, which Gala Games is the company developing Mirandus. So that's a lot of people already showing some like initial interest in this. And I know a lot of that traffic I'm driving from this channel literally, but that's fine. I'm driving traffic to this because I'm excited about it. You can also see the most expensive NFT that they've sold for Mirandus so far, over $3 million. There's some blockchain companies, not like Wall Street or anything, they have no idea what's going on here, but like some specific blockchain companies that have been buying big NFT purchases in this game, which is part of the reason I'm like, wow, these people know way more about blockchain than me, and they're dropping 3 million on NFTs for this game. Maybe it's worth looking into a little bit. So that's part of the bullish sign. But then this is another thing. This is really, really cool. Mirandus, the MMORPG that's being created here, this medieval world that's going to have a real crypto economy, real player ownership with NFTs, it is going to exist on a decentralized node server network, which is really cool. So it's a game that's going to run on servers that the players own and operate, which means that there's no risk in the future that this game is ever going to have its servers shut down, because it's literally the players of the game running the servers for the game. And if a player decides to stop playing, they can sell their server a license to another player as an NFT. So it's, yeah, really, really cool that this game is going to be built on a decentralized server base. The other thing is, this game has already started to get some mentions from really, really big outlets. For example, the Wall Street Journal mentioned Mirandus, had a picture of Mirandus on the front page at one point, saying NFTs are spurring a digital land grab in video game worlds. So it's very clear that when Mirandus actually comes out, if they've already been getting articles when they're far from finishing development, there's going to be a ton of buzz about the very first virtual world with a real currency and real ownership that's verifiable on the blockchain of everything that's in the world. It's just going to be a really, really cool thing that's sure to generate buzz. Now, the next thing that made me really bullish on Gala Games and Mirandus is the person that founded Gala Games. And it's founded by Eric Schurmeyer, and the co-founder is Michael McCarthy. And wow, these people have incredible track records. So Eric Schurmeyer is the CEO and co-founder of Zanga, which you might remember as the creators of Farmville and Zanga Poker and Words with Friends. A lot of very successful titles have come from Zanga. The company is now worth, I think, over $10 billion. So the fact that the co-founder of that company started Gala is a really, really good sign. And this is what Eric Schurmeyer said about what they're trying to build with Gala Games. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think this was literally the next phase of the internet. Everything that touches ownership is going to be affected by what's happening here. Art and music and everything that has a digital life is going to be touched by this. Anything that you thought was digital, that you thought you owned but didn't really own, that's what's about to be revolutionized. And yeah, Eric is right. And he's the one making sure that that is what's about to be revolutionized. So I really like people like that, the entrepreneurial minds that just continue to create more and more things. Eric, by the way, you probably didn't know this, he was also a co-founder of MySpace way back in the day. he knows what's gonna be big next. So now let's look at another one of the co-founders, and this co-founder, Michael McCarthy, is also the lead developer and the creative director behind Mirandus, which is who I bought this NFT for, the game that I bought this NFT for. So I really care about who Michael McCarthy is. But yeah, he is the studio director and he has worked on a ton of titles in the past. Once again, a super successful video game creator. He's worked on the likes of Fable 2, Fable 3, a bunch of the Fable games. Also Fallout 2, you might have heard of. He has a very successful number of titles under his belt. But he recently made a post on LinkedIn saying, we are building a Ready Player One virtual fantasy world called Mirandus. Ready Player one of my favorite books. This just gets me super hyped. We are empowering players to own their own content via blockchain tech. We are fully funded and looking for people to help us build this thing. That's really cool. And now you might say, well, they're still hiring people. This is so risky. The important thing here is we are fully funded. This is a project that is already fully funded, which takes away a lot of the risk. At least I know that my NFT is eventually going to be an NFT for a finished game because the funding for the game already exists and the developers are incredible. That's why I decided to take the risk. This is still a risk, guys, but I believe in the team, I believe in the NFT, I believe in the rarity, and I believe it's gonna have real income generating power in the future as well. Because for those of you who don't know, Mirandus, and I've mentioned this a couple times, but maybe not forcefully enough, is going to have a real economy, which means that I own a Duke and shop owners who want to create swords or food or run a tavern, they're gonna have to rent the spaces in my town in order to operate their business. They're gonna be able to pay for renting spaces in my town because other people are gonna pay them for food or housing or swords. And the reason why other people are gonna pay them real crypto for those things is because the adventurers that have food and a sword are gonna be able to go out into the land of Mirandus and generate real value for themselves by killing beasts and getting drops, rare NFT drops from creatures or currency from creatures or discovering a lost treasure chest or something. Players are going to be able to generate revenue for playing Mirandus. So there's going to be this economy in which the players and owners of the economy actually get to benefit by generating the goods that other players want. So I think this is going to be a real income generating NFT. But yeah, so I made a post on my YouTube channel saying, is buying a $100,000 Mirandus NFT a good idea? And yeah, 42% of you said probably not. It's too early to know if the game will be good, which is true. This game could suck. And 21% said, no way, that's way too much to spend on a gaming NFT, which puts you at 63% said it's a bad idea, but I went and did it anyway. So yeah, the price I paid for this NFT, Town of the Duke, you can see it costs 4.88 million Gala, which if we look on CoinGecko, that is worth about $101,000 at today's price. Not cheap at all. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a good investment and only time will tell. So if you guys enjoyed listening to my thought process, remember to leave a big thumbs up. Also hit subscribe and click that notification bell and you will not miss any future videos. All those engagements, guys, and your comments and your thumbs, all that really means a lot because it causes the YouTube algorithm to promote this video to more people. So it really helps more people see it and I appreciate it a ton. So yeah, thanks for leaving those thumbs ups and subscribing. And then thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys are incredible and enable us to do what we're doing here. I'm not making these videos by myself. Nate, my brother, edits these videos. Josh does all the sound design, original music production. These are original outro you're about to hear. So yeah, thanks for supporting us. And until next time, everyone, make smart investments in good NFTs with utility and have fun roaming the metaverse.